afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. Looking at our Julian cam, a little bit of snow still lingering on the ground as temperatures today have started to warm up. 9 degrees warmer in Otay, 4 degrees for you in Carlsbad. The heat's just beginning. Find out the details in your forecast up next. When you take a look at your forecast for you right now, we're still noticing mostly cloudy. 61. Wind speed's not a main concern for you, about 7 miles per hour. Although out over toward the mountain and deserts, they're dealing with a little bit higher wind speeds. Those should pretty much come to a little bit of a lighter frequency as we head through tomorrow, as we get a little bit more warmer air in place. High pressure is what is in control for us. That's going to begin to expand, thus leading to warmer temperatures as we get our winds out of the east. Notice this little low pressure system hanging off the coast. That is in fact what's spinning in some of those upper level thin clouds today, making it seem fairly cloudy, but still not enough really to prevent us from warming up much. This storm system is really going to linger around the Pacific for a few days, and by the time we get to Thursday, that's when it moves in, giving us another chance of rain, but that's not it. We are yet again going to talk about another storm in our forecast right in time for next weekend. So until we get those wet makers on the place, let's continue to focus in on those temperatures warming up at about 6 o'clock tonight, looking at the mid-50s for the coast. I think those clouds will start to thin out, about the lower 50s as well into Lakeside and El Cajon. Tomorrow morning, waking up, temperatures are going to be chilly, but it's actually seasonal for us this time of year. So the coast, yes, usually is in the mid to upper 40s. So I know it looks a little cold, but remember, it is December after all. 46 degrees for you into Encinitas and even out over toward Lakeside, about 40, and into the 30s out toward Julian. Temperatures into the afternoon, though, very similar to today, which also happens to be where we're supposed to be. Normally, inland areas are around 70 degrees, and El Cajon getting close to that at 69. Downtown, 65. That's right on track for your seasonal average, and Chula Vista you'll be looking at about 66 for you. Fast forward this on Wednesday, yet again another warm day with that rainmaker still out in the Pacific, so temperatures are allowed to warm up, now gaining maybe about 2 degrees. Wednesday should be our warmest day. 72 out for Poway, 73 Escondido, and you can see even Encinitas going for the upper 60s there. Heading into the waters tomorrow, remember we are going to deal with slightly warmer temperatures, so you might actually want to jump in, although the wetsuit probably needed considering temperatures in the water only between 57 and 59 degrees. Fair conditions for you surfers with your swell out of the west-northwest, 2 to 3 feet. High tide coming in just before 7:30 in the morning. Coming up, we talk about the series of rainmakers that's on the way. After we deal with a little bit of a heat wave, right now our almanac shows you temperatures today really close to seasonal. Usually we start out in the mid to upper 40s. Check that off. Also around 64 degrees. We'll notice those values, though, continue to climb at least for about the next 48 hours before we get the series of wet makers on the way. For the coast, we're looking at about 58 degrees by 5 p.m. tomorrow morning, starting you off yet again cool into the upper 40s. Layering, once again, is key. By the time we get to 11 a.m., already looking at 65 with more sunshine than what we saw for today. Inland areas at 11 p.m. now already falling into the 40s, so keep those blankets on those beds, maybe 2 or 3 of them. And then once we head through about 5 a.m., 41 degrees, and by 11 o'clock, you're already looking at the mid-60s. Here's the rainmakers we're talking about. The first one still just off the coast of the Pacific, right? Now watch as we get a little bit closer until late Thursday night into Friday, moves over Southern California, giving us our next chance of rain. It'll be a fairly warm system, fairly similar to what happened to us the middle half of last work week as well. System number 2, this one, since it's coming from the north, is going to pack the punch with the colder air, and that might bring another round of snowfall. Entering our forecast New Year's Eve on into Sunday. Details on that exactly coming up in your 7-day forecast. Happening probably right about now. So as you do step out, we're looking at temps about 57 degrees in Del Mar, around 61 into downtown, whereas further inland in Poway about 58. Contrast that to Julian, now sitting at around 37 degrees. Temperatures, though, are going to jump dramatically. I would say from the coast, maybe about 2 to 3 degrees, but the mountain communities warm up almost 10 to 15 degrees tomorrow alone, and we keep that heating trend at least for the next 2 days. Winds right now, an indication, you can see how pretty much they're coming in out of the east, and anytime we get that easterly flow, temps start to warm up a little bit closer toward the coast, inland areas, more predominant tomorrow for sure. Already, though, dealing with a little bit of a breeze, 22 into Pine Valley, 24 in Campo. That should die down slightly once we head through tomorrow with that warmer air in place. Broad look what's happening across the country. You can see this winter storm that's really skirting the northern tier of the country. That actually turning into some freezing rain for a good chunk of New England. You can see Vermont, even all the way out over toward portions of Massachusetts with that freezing rain advisory. Also pushing a little bit further out over toward Minnesota. Looks like they have a winter weather advisory until Monday at 9 o'clock. So folks, they're happy to escape the cold and coming our way. Out over toward the Pacific Northwest, even into Washington, winter storm warnings are up in the shading in pink through Wednesday at 4 a.m. and the areas shaded in purple in Idaho, winter weather advisories there. So right now we're getting a break from the winter conditions as temperatures are in fact forecast to warm up ever so slightly, and then we'll start to see the wintry weather, the rain, even mountain snow return for us by next weekend. 7-day forecast, 68 degrees tomorrow with more sunshine climbing into the lower 70s by Wednesday. Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. I should say good evening rather. Temperatures today fairly seasonal, working their way to the mid-60s. We have temperatures that forecast to increase. We'll talk about how high they go coming up next. Not say California. It looks like we are starting to see temperatures warming up with a little bit more sunshine coming our way. Above average once we get on into around the 1 o'clock time frame. So for the coast, 51 degrees tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. Mostly sunny conditions by 1 o'clock, now 67. As you do maybe a little bit of pre-gaming heading out over toward the Holiday Bowl. 6 o'clock, 62 degrees and possibly haze by 11 p.m. Inland areas waking up to a cool start into the 40s at about 49. But check out 1 o'clock. Already in the upper 60s. Now normally you're close to 70 and that's pretty much where you will be for tomorrow as temperatures are forecast to continue to climb at least for about the next 2 to 3 days. We're watching this low pressure system. You can watch the spin out over toward the Pacific. It's going to move away from California and then push back in, bringing us scattered showers. I'll tell you the day coming up in just a bit. Guys. That's my biggest fear.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I'm really super worried because the hospital I have to go to is all the way in La Jolla, and I'm like, what if there's traffic? I mean, who cares? This was like 4 days early, but
yeah.
I mean, traffic, that can really slow you down,
yes,
you know?
You can. Yes, you can.
Those temperatures warming up. So currently about 50 degrees on into Del Mar. Ramona, you're up to 44, and into Julian on into the mid-30s. That snowfall that you picked up over the last few days. Julian saw about 6 inches of snowfall, now starting to begin to melt. Today we had quite a lot of cloud coverage, but that is now clearing out of the area, and with that, plenty of sunshine in store for tomorrow, and thus you'll notice temperatures warming. Almost 5 degrees for the coast. The mountain areas, though, almost 15 degrees warmer than where they were today. The low pressure system that spun up all of those clouds is going to be the same system that we are waiting for by the end of the work week. Here's the deal. High pressure in the meantime beginning to expand. It's going to bring sunshine, warmer air as we get our winds coming in on out of the east. The other thing it's doing, though, is it's pushing this low pressure system further away, and then by the time we get to Friday, it returns. That's going to bring scattered showers to our area. We're talking in general, I'd say about 30% chance of rain. But we're not done with it yet. We're still watching another system that's going to impact your weekend. So before we get hit with all those storms, let's just focus in on the temperatures actually warming up, perfect for those visitors that are still in town. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., the lower 40s. Now, while yes, this is cool, it's seasonal for us until late December. And right along the coast, about 47 in Del Mar and 42 up through Oceanside. Watch what happens, though, by the afternoon. Usually inland areas, you're at 70. Look at this out over toward El Cajon. You're at 71, so technically above average. The coast going for around 67 degrees into downtown. That same value through Chula Vista. Remember, plenty of sunshine. Winds only about 5 to 10 miles per hour. If you think tomorrow's warm, you haven't seen anything yet. Wednesday, many locations will actually see their temperatures peak. Now we're about the mid-70s for you into Lakeside and even into Mira Mesa, as well as Escondido. 70 degrees out over toward Del Mar, although I do think you'll actually see temperatures rise up a little bit more. Here's that storm system I was talking to you about. Remember, we have the first one on our way by Friday. The second one forecast to slide on down. This one's going to be a little bit stronger right in time for New Year's Eve, late Saturday night, early Sunday. And it looks like it's going to continue to send impulses through our region through around Monday. As a result, we could see rainfall totals in general close to around, I'd say, a tenth, possibly a quarter of an inch. So it's not going to be as soaking of a rain system as what we just dealt with, but nonetheless, the chance of precipitation is there, and we're still monitoring it, so we could actually bump those rain totals up for you. So before the rain comes, you might want to go ahead and enjoy the warmth and dive on into to our waters. Fair conditions for you surfers. You'll notice your swell out of the west-northwest around 2 to 3 feet. Water temperature only 57 to 59 degrees with high tide coming in just before 7:30 in the morning. 7-day forecast, 68 degrees tomorrow, working your way to 72 on into Wednesday, 74 Thursday with increasing clouds. There comes that rain on communities. 68 degrees, also getting to the mid-70s by Thursday before smashing into the 50s with rain in the area. Let's look at your 7-day forecast. Guys, over to you.